state of readiness. And trust me, we ready.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. Today's guest, you know him well. He was third place in the world at the Mr. Olympia for 3 years in a row as a classic physique competitor. Now he's third place in the world at the Olympia as a 212 bodybuilder, looking for that #1 spot in 2021. Please welcome from New York, the Bull, George Peterson III.
Boom. Yeah. Thanks for having me, Ron. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. So we're mid-March as we speak right now. We're close to it. Nice sunny day for you out there.
Oh, it's beautiful out here. And it's finally we're getting some beautiful weather out here in New York.
Yeah. So the Olympia was almost 3 months ago, and you won't be competing again till October 7th and 8th. So where are you at right now with training and diet and all that good stuff?
I mean, right now, we're at the point like I gave my body a couple months to rest and everything, and just get recovered and everything. So before we started really turn up the volume. So now we're at the point now where we're starting to ramp things up, and I'm just excited with the type of improvements that we're gonna make by the time next Olympia rolls around.
Yeah, cool. So got some questions for you, and you've always got answers. That's why I like to ask you. So true story, full disclosure, guys, I made up these questions, but they're very representative of questions. I'm a meathead. I come up with the same questions you guys would want to ask them anyway, I think. This is a good one because pre-workouts are something so many of us use. I barely can get out of bed in the morning without a pre-workout. So one thing I want to know, George, is do you always use a pre-workout or only for certain body parts? Do you take time off from using a pre? And do they, because I've often wondered, maybe they don't work as well if you use them all the time. So first of all, how often do you use them?
Well, I do actually use pre-workouts before every workout. The thing with me is I'll have a different pre-workout cocktail depending on the body part. So let's say the bigger body parts, that's when I go all in with the mixing, say, Total War with Big Noise and Mohab. So like if I do legs or back, I'm mixing those three together. And for like the smaller body parts, I'll typically just do like the Total War mixed with Big Noise, which is the stimulant pre-workout mixed with the pump formula pre-workout. But yeah, right now I'm pretty much at the point where I have a pre-workout before every training session.
Yeah. So I'm just curious of the scoop sizes because I use the same products. Are you at 1 scoop of each, or do you need more at some points?
I'm still at 1 scoop of each. Yeah. That's enough for me. That's
good. That's great. It means your adrenal glands are still working properly.
Yeah.
Because you never take time off. Do you ever worry that if you don't take some time off, they won't be as effective for you?
I mean, not really. I mean, like I guess like if it comes a time where I feel like I'm not really feeling any like same kind of effect from it, then I might that might be my sign to take a little time off of it, and then jump back on it a little bit later. But I mean, for the most part, I kind of don't take that much time off it. I feel like I need it, to really get me going, because I do so much throughout the day. When it's time to train, I need that rush, that boost.
So you train typically what time of day?
I train during the afternoon, like around 2 o'clock ish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're not worried about taking it and then being up all night, like somebody working out at 8 or 9 o'clock might be.
Well, for my lifestyle, it actually would help me to be up all night, because I also work until about 2 a.m. in the morning usually.
Gosh, what the heck? Come on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, George. That's terrible.
That's all right.
I'm sure it's fine. Okay. Next question about knee wraps. What's your take on knee wraps? Do you use them? If so, why? And do you only use them on certain leg movements or only on certain heavy sets? What's your personal philosophy and rules about knee wraps?
Well, for me personally, with knee wraps, the only exercise I use knee wraps on is heavy squats. I don't typically wrap my knees until I get about over 4 plates on the squat rack. It just I have small joints, and I just feel like that the knee wraps help protect my knees from any kind of like injury and whatnot. But oddly enough, I don't use them on any kind of, like, I see guys using them on the leg press, even if they like load up the leg press machine that they use it. I never do. I just only squats where I feel like free weight squats, so I really feel like I need it when I go beyond a certain weight.
Yeah, do you feel like, because you do have small joints? I just interviewed a guy named Julius Maddox with the world bench press record. He's 440 pounds, he's 6'3". Guys like that, they're meant to lift heavy weights. Their knees are this big, their wrists are, they're huge people. You know, look at you, man. Your wrists are like this, your elbows, your knees, your ankles, they're all tiny. You know, for someone like you, do you feel they actually are more of a necessity on things like heavy squats than they might be for a bigger, clunkier built guy?
Yeah, I think it's definitely more of a necessity. You know, it's funny because I remember like one of the first times where I was training with Justin, he was training me on legs, and it was time to, you know, squat over 4 plates, and then I was wrapping up my knees, and you know, I wrap it up so tight that, you know, my knees look like, you know, that big. He was so nervous, you know, because it looks like the way it looks like this weight is going to crush me because my joints are so small, you know, but I managed it, you know, just fine. But I definitely believe it's a necessity, especially for someone who has like those small joints, like you said, not so much the guys who are just built thicker all over, you know.
Yeah. You talked about, you know, you do see some overuse on these things, guys probably using them when they shouldn't be using them. Do you think there's any downside or any dangers to somebody wrapping their knees up tight all the damn time for every damn leg set?
I mean, I'm not sure if there's you know, any, you know, negative, you know, to that. I mean, you know, I mean, the one thing about, like, you know, the knee wraps is, you know, they give you a little bit, like when you wrap them up tight, they give you a little spring.
Yeah.
You know, so it helps you a little bit when you're on that heavy weight. I mean, I feel like if you're doing it all the time, you're not, you know, you kind of, you might be shortchanging yourself a little bit, you know, giving yourself like a little bit of that extra spring when you don't need it, you know. Just, you know, so just move the weight yourself up to a certain point. When it gets to that point where, like, okay, this is really challenging weight, you're trying to go to a place where you've never been before, and you want to, you know, play it safe, you know, then wrap it up. So I think you should, if you can avoid doing it all the time, especially with those first few sets when we're pyramiding up, you know, try to do it without the knee wraps, you know.
Yeah, you know, we should probably be talking to like an orthopedic surgeon or something, but I've often heard, and I don't know if this is true, that if you wrap it too tightly around the knee, it pushes the patella up against, I don't know, whatever bones in back of that. Whereas if you leave it a little bit looser, but I've never seen anybody loosely. What's the point of putting wraps on if they're going to be loose?
Right.
As well as not wear wraps.
Right.
I will leave you with Dorian Yates' famous quote about knee wraps. Have you already heard it?
No, I haven't. What did he say?
Someone said, Dorian, why don't you use knee wraps? You could probably squat more. He said, I could stick a giant spring up my ass too, but I'm not going to do that. So here we go. I love Dorian. All right. This is a good training question because nobody talks about pre-exhaust anymore. What do you think about pre-exhaust training? Doing an isolation movement for a muscle group and then going right into a compound movement, you know, like lateral raises and shoulder presses, leg extensions and leg presses, something like that. Is that something that you do, something you do occasionally, or something you never do?
I mean, I pretty much do that, well, occasionally. I believe that's a good method. You know, occasionally, like say for legs, you know, like I'll pre-exhaust, you know, my legs with the leg extensions and you know, leg curls. I'll do like some supersets between those two to kind of pre-exhaust them, and then you know, then I'll go into the more compound movements, like, you know, like squats and, you know, leg press. I feel like that's a good training technique to do. Yeah, you don't have to necessarily do it all the time, but I feel like it's effective enough, you know, to get good development in whatever area you're doing that in.
Have you ever tried going right from the isolation movement into the compound, a true pre-exhaust superset?
No, I've never done that before. No, but yeah, but for the most part, it's either like, you know, like a you know, crazy, you know, like pre-exhaust, you know, superset between the leg extension and the leg curls, where, like, you know, like after a few of those supersets, it almost feels like a full leg session already.
Yeah.
And then I go into the squats. But you know, you know, you and the squats are going to be, like, you know, harder at that point. But you know, what the odd thing about it is that because I pre-exhaust, you know, my legs that much, it's like they're you know, they're more than warm. They're ready, and I'm still able to, you know, get those squats in good, even though, like, they're so pre-exhausted and it already feels like, and they're burning and it already feels like I've been through a full leg session already. It still helps me, you know, like, because there's times where, like, I'll just do like a couple of warm up sets of leg extensions, and I'll go right into the going right into the squats. And I feel like I'm still not kind of like, warm enough. And in the squat, even starting off with like 225 on squats and 315, it feels it feels a little like, I don't know, I feel a little kind of stiffish or whatnot.
Yeah.
But when I go through those pre-exhaust sets, like I'm like warm, I'm loose. So now I'm ready to attack these squats, even though it's hard, but I'm still able to. It's a weird thing, I'm just ready to go at that point.
I'm curious, when you do it those two different ways, are you able to squat more if you don't pre-exhaust and don't do too much leg extensions first, or does it not matter? You're still able to hit the same weights and reps on the squat if you really beat them up with the leg extensions, leg curls first?
For the most part, I'm able to still do the same amount of weight. It's just like the rep range may be lower. Like if I do the pre-exhaust ones, the rep range the reps might be a little lower.
Yeah.
But if I was to go say, just do a little slight warm up with the leg extension and go right into the squats, I'll typically be able to do heavy, a little slightly heavier weight and keep the reps higher as well.
Yeah, because I remember it was Branch and Johnny were talking about a leg workout they went through years ago. I would never say that they weren't telling the truth, but it just sounded like, how could a human being even do this? They were doing like leg extensions, drop sets, triple drop sets on leg extension, going right to a squat rack, supposedly 500 pounds for all these. Then they were going right to a sled and pushing a sled around. And oh man, I don't know. But they are, those aren't regular human beings we're talking about.
Those guys are animals. I mean, I remember seeing, it's a lot of their training footage, and it's like a war zone when you see them training. So that's like another level.
I could say the only time I love training legs, but the only time I ever actually thought about escaping a leg workout, like walking out the back door of the gym, was when I brought Branch to my gym a few years ago, and we did legs together, and the AC was off in my gym, and which didn't bother him because he's used to that Metroflex. It's like a sauna anyway.
Right.
But oh god, we were like 2 exercises in. I was like, man, I don't feel good. I want to go, but I stuck it out. It was rough. Branch.
Yeah.
Anyway, last question. You're back, probably the best in the world right now. Let's be real. I'm just curious. Before I even get into the question, who else would you say at this time? Whose back impresses you? I'm curious.
I mean, I think in the open division, I would say, I think William Bonac has a great back. I mean, I think he has a great back.
Yeah.
I think that might be it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking when you do your routines or whenever you're on stage and you turn around, the audience just goes bananas. It's like, woo! Because we don't see that every day. We haven't seen that since Ronnie Dorian. We just don't see that, man. We see a lot of big legs, we see a lot of big arms, delts. We just don't see that many great backs anymore. So yeah, right now you're kind of in a league of your own, George. So good. William, he gave you the props. So
William Bonac is the man.
you owe him a drink someday. But has anyone ever told you your back was too overpowering? Maybe a judge, somebody, and they advised you to lay off it for a while?
That's a good question. Nobody's ever actually suggested that to me. I mean, just with my own critical eye, and also with Justin, looking at me, we just, we just said we want other body parts to be just as crazy as the back. So, we're going to focus on that. But I'll tell you a story after I won nationals and me and Justin was flying from Miami back to New York. Like we was talking about the game plan, what to do, for the pro debut, what improvements to make. And I asked, and Justin said I want your legs and everything to match that crazy back of yours. And I said to him, well, do you think I should lay off of back training, and then just, and we just go crazy with everything else? And he was like, hell no. You keep, going crazy, on the back, like you do, and like normal, and we're just going to go crazy as well on the other body parts. The way we're going to make everything else catch up is just how I feed myself, say on back day compared to the other body part days, I'll have higher calories on other body part days, and I'll have fewer calories on back day because my back really doesn't kind of need it,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like I could have I feel like I could have close to zero carbs on back day, when my back will still be there. You know what I mean?
I don't think that back's going anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to kind of argue with Justin. He knows what he's doing. I'm not saying that I know any better than him. I don't. But I just think when somebody has a body part that's so great, it's so responsive. My gut would tell me it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you know, we don't have any weak body parts, but I don't know. I just wonder if the back's just going to keep growing and growing and growing, and if everything else keeps growing too, but the back keeps growing.
It'll stay. Yeah, I know.
It's always going to be George Peterson's back.
Right.
It's not a bad thing, because like I said, when you guys turn around, that's where you beat so many people. And even look at Bumstead. What did everyone talk about this year when he won again? It was his back.
The back improves.
Yeah. That's pretty much 90% of the conversation around him was how much better his back was, because that was the knock on him, and that's why people felt he wasn't like the best. You know, why should he be winning this title? You know, he doesn't have a back. It's not fair. Now he kind of has a little bit more of a justification to be the Olympia champ. But you know, you guys are all breathing down his neck. You'll be trying to take that title away from him in a few months here. Last order of business I want to talk about is a Redcon 1, your sponsor. They're opening up a second gym in Nashville, Tennessee. I believe Aaron told me first weekend in May was the target. I want to say May 1st. So first of all, you heading down for that?
Well, I would like to. I'm actually supposed to speak with Aaron very, very soon. If and I would, and if I can't make it out for, like, say, you know, that particular date, I definitely want to get out there, you know, regardless, and you know, and check it out and everything. I mean, because it's just it's amazing. It's amazing, like how much Redcon 1 is just growing by leaps and bounds, you know, in just a short amount of time. You know what I mean? Like I remember when I first signed with Redcon 1, there was no Redcon 1 gym at all, and then boom, and then they got the Redcon 1 gym out there in Florida. And then now they got this second one going on in Nashville. So it's just amazing. You know, Aaron and the whole team, you know, they're just doing great things, you know.
Have you been to the one in Boca Raton, Florida?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But many times. I
So
love it.
I was going to say, because, you know, it'd be hard to impress you because you train at Bevan Steve's, which a lot of people regard that as the top bodybuilding gym in the world right now. I don't know. Kuwait has a pretty decent gym, I heard too. This Oxygen gym, you might have heard of it. But it's definitely in this side of the world. That's the Mecca. So what does it take for you to be impressed by a gym?
I mean, just I'm you know, by nature I'm a very simple guy. I'm not high maintenance. So as long as the gym, you know, has efficient amount of equipment, you know, good atmosphere, I guess, you know, I don't even mind like a dirty kind of dungeony type of atmosphere, because I'm, like I said, I'm a very lax guy. Like I can adapt to whatever. Yeah. But just as long as you know, you have ample equipment for everything that you need, and I guess enough of each thing, where if someone is, you know, using one type of leg press, there's a second leg press, you know, that you can go for, you know, where you don't have to wait for this one person to finish. Right. Good amount of, you know, have the equipment spaced out enough where you don't feel like you're all crammed, you know, together and everything like that. Yeah. Other than that, I mean, you know, I'm pretty lax. You know, like the Redcon 1 gym in Florida, like it has its own personality to it. You know, if you go in there, you like, it's like it's just such a cool vibe. You know, it has the TV like up on the wall where they play different, you know, bodybuilding videos and everything like that. So that right there, I think is great. You know, like, you know, you get so much motivated, because one thing when someone goes in the gym, what do you want? You want to be motivated, right? And that's what motivates you. Same thing with Bevs. You know, you go in there and you got all these pictures on the wall, and you can't help but look at them. Like even right before you're about to do your set, you see these pictures. You see Dorian, you see Ronnie. That right there just motivates you to go and kill the set that you're about to do. You know, so stuff like that, I feel like is a great thing, you know, for any gym. If you could have something around that's really, like, you know, motivating.
Do they have your picture up yet?
Where at
the Bevs?
Yeah, they have a few.
You don't just stare at your picture though, you stare at other people. Well, that's cool.
You know what's funny? When I look at my own pictures up there, like it's actually, it does motivate me, but I don't look at those pictures like in admiration. Like I don't look at them like wow. Like I look at it like I want to beat that guy. I want, you know what I mean? Like that guy is good, but I want to beat that guy, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I hope they have like a back shot of you up near some of the back machines. Maybe.
They actually do. You know what they have? Right by the back machines where they have like the hammer strength like pull downs and whatnot and rows.
Yeah.
They have the cover, that MD cover that you guys put out with the back double bicep. They have that right there.
Perfect. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Appreciate that, Steve. We always like to hear that. That's cool. Yeah, I think I've been to a couple places, hardcore places that would have like Platt's pictures up near their leg equipment, you know, a Dorian picture up near their back equipment, and so Arnold and Lou Ferrigno on their chest. Just yeah, more gyms should do that, but of course, you know, corporate gyms.
They have this red leg extension machine in the leg area that's actually signed by Tom Platt.
Oh wow,
machine, yeah.
That is pretty damn cool. Jeez, because yeah, we can argue about legs and back and chest and arms all day, but when it comes to legs, geez, nobody's ever going to beat that guy. That was a standard. Yeah, I mean, I see bigger legs. Probably if you threw a tape measure on Rami's legs, I'm sure they're bigger than Tom's.
Oh yeah,
he's got like 100 pounds on Tom, but man, they were crazy. So
see that goes like what we just talked about. I wonder like during Tom Platz's time, like did anybody ever suggest to him, your legs are so crazy, maybe you should stop training? Maybe you should hold off on it.
I think I read that they did tell him that. I interviewed him years ago, and I remember him telling me he went back, he took his leg training to every other week to see if they would get any smaller, because he was told to downsize them. Somebody told him. I don't know if it was a judge or what. They didn't lose anything. He went down to training them once a month. Stayed the same. They still didn't lose anything. Yeah.
Wow.
Because he had, once you build up something freaky like that, like I bet your back, if you scaled back on your training, even with the volume or the intensity just a little bit, I don't think you'd lose much. I think it would take.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I mean, you spent all those years building it. It ain't going anywhere. Right. Cool. Well, I want to let people know you are available for online coaching. What is that website, George?
That's right. Well, you can go to my website at www.thebullcoaching.com. That's DABULL coaching.com. Or you can email me at thebull, DABULLLC@gmail.com. And just, email me, let me know what your goals are, and I'll be happy to help you out. Whether you're trying to lean out or bulk up, anything between that, I can help you.
Awesome, man. So guys, that's a pretty great opportunity to have someone like this, one of the very best in the world, personally coaching you. And he's a nice guy too.
Thank you. I got some gonna have some new Bull merch, some new Bull merch coming out in for the summertime. So look out for that.
Model some of it next time, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to wear it like if you got a new tank or something for sure.
Yeah, 100.
Yeah, you can't be wearing these big hoodies for much longer. It's gonna start getting hot out.
Exactly.
Believe it or not, after that winter, it is going to be summer again. Believe it or not. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching, George. Thank you so much for taking the time, George. George Peterson, the Bull. Third, I mix it up all the time. He's George Peterson the third, the Bull, one of the greatest. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.